welcome to the Crochet Tour YouTube channel. My name is Tor and today I'll be showing you how to crochet this Sailor Moon doll. So this doll I made using my own original pattern and it uses US terminology. This pattern is more aimed towards people that have some level of crochet experience, but if you fancy a challenge and you want to see if you can follow along with the video, then go ahead and have a try and see how it goes. The written pattern for this will also be in the description, so if you're an advanced level crocheter and you don't really need all the instruction, then feel free to check that out. It'll be on my blog. And yeah, that's it really, so let's get started and see what materials we need to crochet this. So for this project you'll be needing double knit yarn in the following colours: light pink, dark blue, red, white and light yellow. Then you will be needing safety eyes, so the ones I use are these oval safety eyes. I think they're 14mm safety eyes. Now you can also embroider the eyes or you could crochet the eyes, it's completely up to you how you do it, but I like to use safety eyes. I've also got some scrap black yarn because I like to add a bit of extra detail to the eyes as well. And then I've got some black embroidery thread, and this is for the mouth. Again, if you want to just use black yarn for it, that's completely fine, you could do that as well. The crochet hook I'm using is a 3mm crochet hook, but depending on whatever weight of yarn that is available to you, you might want to size up or size down. I've got a yarn needle for sewing everything together. I've got my pins as well to help put everything together at the end. I've got my scissors. I've got an amount of stuffing. You're not going to need loads of stuffing for this, but you know, better to have too much than too little. And then finally I have my fabric glue, and this is my favourite one, Fabri-Tac, which I get off of Amazon. So yep, that's everything we'll need. So to get started we'll be making the legs and we'll be starting with red yarn. So for round 1 we start with 3 single crochets in a magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, and then pull tight, and then we have our first round here. So for round 2 we're going to increase in each single crochet all the way around, so we'll end up with 6 single crochets at the end of round 2. So there we have it, that's the end of round 2, and we've now got 6 single crochets all the way around. The next few rounds are quite simple, so I'm just going to explain them to you. Round 3 we simply single crochet in each stitch around, so that's 6 single crochets. Round 4 we do 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, so we end up with 8 single crochets at the end of that round. And then round 5, again we just single crochet all around, so we end up with 8 single crochets at the end of round 5. So I'll meet you at the end of round 5. So now I'm at the end of round 5. I'm going to show you round 6 because it's a little bit strange. So in round 6 we're going to do 2 slip stitches. So 1 slip stitch and then 2 slip stitch, and then we're going to do 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 2 slip stitches. So 1, 2, and that is the end of round 6. And what this does is it essentially is starting to create a shape that means that we're making sort of like an ankle here, so I'll show you on the finished one. So what we're doing is we're creating this little bend here so that the whole leg is just one piece and we don't have to sew bits together. So yeah, I thought I'd just show you that round because it's a bit unusual. And then for the next few rounds, they're quite, again, straightforward, so I'll just talk you through them. So for round 7, we just do 2 single crochets, decrease, 2 single crochets, decrease, so we end up with 6 single crochets at the end of round 7. Round 8 is single crochet all around. Round 9 is 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, so we're back up to 8 single crochets at the end of round 9. Then rounds 10 to 13 we just single crochet all around, and then I'll meet you at the end of round 13 and we'll go through the rest of the leg. Just another thing that I've thought of as well, as you're going through the next few rounds, we should really be starting to stuff the leg. So we should only be using a very small amount of stuffing because obviously this is quite a small item. What I would normally do is I would just put a bit of stuffing on and then use the end of the crochet hook to try and push it in there. If that doesn't work, you could try using your scissors as well, just anything that can sort of get into that gap and push everything in. And I'd recommend just adding a little bit every few rounds just to make sure that it continues to be stuffed. So yep, I'll meet you at the end of round 13. So now we're at the end of round 13. We should have formed a little foot and the start of the actual leg itself. So now what we're going to do for round 14 is we are going to take our hook and do an increase in the first stitch. So and then we're going to single crochet in the remaining 7 stitches. There we have it, that's the end of round 14. Then for round 15 we'll simply single crochet in each stitch around, so that's 9 single crochets. So that's the end of round 15, and then for rounds 16 to 18, so the next 3 rounds, we're also just going to single crochet all the way around, and then at the end of round 18 is when we need to start changing colours, so I will meet you at the end of round 18. So I'm on the final stitch of round 18 and now it's time to change colour to white, so I'm going to yarn over this time using my white yarn, pull through, and now we've changed the colour to white. So for round 19 we're just going to do single crochets all around, but the difference this time is we're just going to do the single crochets in the front loop only, so that's the loop closest to us. So we start and just to show you how I do this, I usually cut my red yarn around this point, so I'll get my scissors, cut it around here, and then continue going around. And there we have it. We have done all of our front loop only single crochets all the way around. So now we're actually going to finish off. So I'm going to cut the white yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail. And how I'm going to finish this off is with what I call a fake single crochet. I actually found this off another tutorial video on YouTube, and I pretty much use this most of the time now when I'm finishing off my pieces. So what I'm going to do is we're going to turn this around, and you can see the next stitch would have been here, and the one after it is this one. So we're going to skip the next stitch and put our needle through here, and then we're going to yarn over and pull that through. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the back loop of the stitch that we were just in, so this one, and then we're going to pull the yarn through there. And what this does is, you'll see here that this stitch here is actually a fake single crochet now, and it just makes it a lot more even when you finish off, instead of there being one part that's kind of like sticking up at the end. So that's how I prefer to finish it off. If you just want to do it the normal way, then feel free, but yeah, that's how I am finishing off the end of round 19. So the next step will be to reattach some light pink yarn and work in the unworked back loops of round 18, I believe it was. So I'll come back and show you how to do that. So I've got my light pink yarn ready now, and as you can see, I've kind of folded the white round over like this, so that we're now exposing the back loops of the round 18 that we haven't worked yet. So these are these red loops like this one here. So all we need to do now is just pick any of those, and we need to reattach some light pink yarn. So I'm just going to do that. So now we just single crochet into the same stitch that we just reattached our yarn into, then the next stitch, and so on until we get to the end of round 20. So at the end of round 20 we now have 9 light pink single crochets worked into the unworked back loops of the round 18. So now all we need to do is simply do a few more rounds of single crocheting all the way around. So rounds 21 to 24 we're just going to single crochet all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of round 24. So now we've got to the end of round 24. Round 25 we're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do 9 single crochets. So let's get started. there we have it. That's the end of round 25. So we have 10 single crochets all the way around now. And then all we need to do is, for quite a few more rounds, so rounds 26 to 33, we just need to single crochet in each of those 10 stitches around. So I will then meet you at the end of round 33. So now we've got to the end of round 33, so this is actually the end of the first leg, so it should look kind of like this. So now we just need to finish off, so if we just snip the yarn. You don't really need to do a fake single crochet at the end of this round, because actually we're going to be joining the two legs together in one big round when we get to that stage, so you'll actually find that having this little bit poking out here doesn't make a big difference in the end. So yeah, you can just leave it like this now, and then what we're going to do is you just need to repeat all of these same steps once more, but when you get to the end of round 33 on the next leg, keep your yarn on the hook and don't cut, because like I say, we're going to be joining the two legs together. So I'll meet you again when we have two of these legs.